Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mayor Joel Griffith, and it is my pleasure to welcome you all here today. Thank you all, each and every one of you, for being here for this very special event. Thank you to the Village Board of Trustees. I think we have the entire Board of Trustees here. Could you please raise your hand that we might acknowledge you? There you are. Thank you to Dutchess County and the County Executive. Thank you to all of them for working together to accomplish this long-desired tribute to a great individual. 2 weeks ago, we gathered just over there to dedicate the old bell from the Tivoli Union Free School. We came together on another beautiful afternoon. This time I put myself in the shade.
Good call.
To celebrate and share in a rich piece of our community's history. And today we are back again to cut another ribbon, I promise you with even larger scissors, and dedicate this very road to one of the finest, most respected, and most appreciated citizens in the history of Tivoli, Claude Potts. Now, our very erudite Deputy Mayor, Emily Major, history buff, also told me this morning that it was 144 years ago today that Tivoli and Madeline merged.
Wow.
So what an auspicious coincidence of the calendar for Claude's dedication. And of course, we did a little math, and he's been around for more than half of that. This is a happy occasion, but recent events moved me to a few somber and serious words. These little acts of civic commemoration and the assertion of community values are not, in my opinion, just cutesy little feel-good moments in a remote village disconnected from the wider world. No, what we are doing today is no small gesture, particularly in a nation and a world where it seems many are consciously undermining civil society, where individuals and groups in our country and across the globe are choosing to hurt their fellows instead of help them. Individuals and groups who promote discord and distrust over tolerance and cooperation. Their acts of greed, selfishness, and sadly, even violence, seem to speak so loudly about what society has become or what human nature is. Our gesture today, an act of community celebration, is an answer. We choose not to harm but to help. We choose not to take but to serve and give. We choose not to tear down but to build. We choose not to disrespect and diminish, but to honor and revere what is good. Do not think that events like this and people like the man we are here to honor are not very, very important in this world, even in a national and global context. We all have in every days of our lives a choice, and we here in Tivoli choose to strengthen our community, to build civil society, to choose peace and progress. The life of our honoree, Claude Potts, is a shining example of what I'm talking about. This man has served his fellows in more ways and for longer than most of us will be blessed to do. And it is fitting that Tivoli, a community of generosity, creativity, and kindness, holds him up as the finest embodiment of our values of service and a safe, shared society. Think about the legacy of 73 years in the Tivoli Fire Department, prepared to risk all to keep your fellow citizens safe. My first memories of Claude Potts are as a bus driver for the Red Hook School District. That is but one of many hats he has worn in his long and accomplished career. I have quite clear and pleasant memories of Mr. Potts, the school bus driver. This is significant because let me state something that school children everywhere know. Not all school bus drivers are the same. Some, at least back then, and perhaps particularly on the Tivoli bus, would, in order to maintain control and order among the energetic young passengers, did so through a technique of intimidation. Some bus drivers were big and scary, and some were even mean. Some seemed to my 6 or 7-year-old self to have to scowl and even scream every day to keep the kids in their seats and well behaved. but certainly not Mr. Potts. Among the many bus drivers, he always stood out as a nice, safe adult, one you could trust, and it was always a relief when you learned that he was driving your route that year. Claude was calm, Claude was cool, Claude was very kind. He smiled and he drove the bus, and I have no memories of him having to get mean to get respect. He just had it. Sir, you were kind back then. You have certainly been kind and helpful to me since I've assumed this office. Thank you for everything you've done for me, for all of us, for the village that we love. We all are here to say thank you. Next, I'd like to ask Marty Clark to come up and say a word or two if he'd like.
I don't know. Oh boy. Well, wow. I don't know Claude that well, but I know the legend. I know he worked at Lasher's Garage for 25 years. He told me he lost the end of his finger on the car lift over there, and he took it over to Dr. Block, and he sewed it back on. He has it to this day. And you know, I asked Claude. I had heard that FDR had asked him to come work for the Department of Agriculture in Washington, and I never knew whether that story was true or not. But Claude confirmed that was true. And it made me think, well, you must have been a Democrat back then. I know all old people are Republicans, so I don't know. So then there's another story that I heard, and that is, now I got to quote Kenneth Migliarelli in this, who couldn't be here today, and he's sorry, but he said that you said that when you were speed spraying in the orchard, when you rounded the end of the row, so much spray hit your face, unprotected, that it would put your cigarette out. And you concluded, so that stuff doesn't hurt you. So that's why FDR didn't want you working for the Department of Health. Anyway, Claude, I think, I don't know the facts, but it seems to me that the most remarkable thing about you kept that farm going over there, and you're one of those guys that's a vanishing breed like Lee Jacoby and Irv Fraley, that, you're not a boutique farmer, you're not one of these farm-to-table guys, you kept it going, and it must have been really hard to do, and you did it by driving the bus and working at last year's garage and running the farm, and for that, you deserve full respect. And I'm sure everybody here feels it. And this is not an obituary. We still got this guy. So thank you very much, Claude.
Thank you very much, Marty. Now I would like to ask our county executive, Mark Molinaro, to come up and please say a few words. A few words.
Mind you, he stood behind this podium and gave a speech that was probably twice as long as the one that I could have given. But
Learn from the best.
yes, we've taught him well. I was actually on that school bus with Joel, and I think, in fairness, Claude, you didn't pay any attention to us. Claude Potts was my first interaction with Tivoli. He doesn't necessarily know this, but I remember it. My parents had seen an advertisement in the newspaper about these new houses they were building in this little place called Tivoli, and I recall saying to my mother, "What's a Tivoli?" And we drove north years ago, and we stopped at a farm stand, and my mother looked bewildered. I mean, totally confused, waiting for someone to come out and take her money, because where we came from, Beacon, if you left money in a can at a farm stand, it wouldn't last very long. But in Tivoli, it was perfectly fine, and it was Claude's farm. Joel said it better than I could, and I'm amazed I said that. Joel said it better than I could. These are not small moments, and Claude, you are not merely a line or a blip in the history of Tivoli. For all of your years of service to this community, you have helped to define it. And for the village that we love, we have an enormous debt of gratitude to extend, and that we owe Claude Potts for his service to the fire company, providing for our safety, whether it was driving a school bus, taking us to and from school, managing a farm, being a great family man, perhaps even Secretary of the Agriculture, who knows. Do I mention you were a bootlegger too, or no? Dr. Block did a little bit of rum running in the old days, but never mind. We are all defined by the people who come in and out of our lives, and our communities are no different. They're defined by the people who give to it. And Tivoli really has defined itself throughout its history as the little place that could. People coming together to work together, to serve together, to make a difference. And Claude Potts, you have made a difference. You've made a difference in our lives individually. You've made a difference in the life of this community and our lives collectively. And you will now forever be remembered as people drive under the speed limit. On county, yeah, right, Margaret? Maybe. On County Route 78 in the village of Tivoli, and I am thrilled that I get to come back to this podium for this purpose, and along with the mayor, and we'll unveil that sign in a few moments. But along with the mayor, I'd like to present you on behalf of the people of Dutchess County, the nearly 300,000 people I now serve. I know even you're amazed that I came from the back of the school bus to county executive. But on behalf of the nearly 300,000 people who call Tivoli home, Dutchess County home, I am proud to join the mayor and the Village Board of Trustees in designating the section of County Route 78 between Pine Street and Woods Road as Claude Potts Way in your honor. Thank you, Claude. Yeah, my mother had to help her with me on the bus. It turns out I'm not as great as I think I am. It's all yours. Is he speaking?
Yeah, I think we're going to
Put a chair up there.
Thank you and the Board of Trustees.
Oh no, you have to turn around and address your adoring fans.
This wouldn't be possible, really, unless I had the cooperation of all the citizens of Tivoli in my past years. We started with a very loyal group of citizens in Tivoli who changed a lot in my life. When I first really was aware of the community, well, it goes back in the old bootleg days. Back those days, most every farm had a small still onto it. And my father and grandfather and some notable names on the barn door down there yet of the ones that cooperated, and they had a small still on the farm. And all the other growers and farmers were bringing stuff down, and my parents and grandparents and so on would bottle it. And then my father, during the late afternoon, that if he had any apples or something like that to go they put it on a horse and wagon and the booze. And usually, I was probably only 4 or 5, a little older than you, but there. Go down to a dock down here to Tivoli, and a steamboat would come to Saugerties and pick up bales of paper to Contine's paper mill over there. And then from there they'd come over to the Tivoli dock and fill out with farm produce and whatever. And it would go to New York and be picked up by a famous name and person here in Tivoli, the Maury's.
Oh, yes.
They had, and at that time, Maury's was over on the south side of Broadway. The Maury Hotel wasn't built then yet, and they were there for quite a few years. And then later on in life, I worked with Lasher's Garage down there. And that was right next to the building that went with the hotel. And different times they had dog fights in there. And we'd watch it from the out in the yard there, out of the garage windows there, it was right next to it. And then that went on for quite a few years, and that sort of come to the end. And eventually, Maurice moved over in the New Madeline, which it is now, and seems hopefully going very well along the line. That was one little instance here in the village. And along the line, I could talk for all day here of the things that I've seen stop along the line, and some good, some bad. And then, of course, as after the war and that, all hell let loose. And I was on the committee at that time too. I always stayed off the village board. I didn't want to get involved with politics.
Wise man.
I was neutral on there, all sides. And anyway, in cooperation with the government, we got the Tivoli post office and the Madeline post office combined as one Tivoli post office. And of course, Tivoli before was RFD, and that remained the same. And now, most people don't really realize how much Tivoli RFD includes. We go right up to Claremont Center up there, and most people don't realize that. And then that road out of Claremont going east and comes back around it, that's all Tivoli RFD. So Tivoli RFD includes quite a little
To the north, yeah.
area. So it's been fun for every bit of it. And here I am. And thank you all for
So we have a nice little ribbon and some very big scissors, and then we're going to unveil the sign. Is there a member of Claude's family who might care to hold one end of this? Sure. You are?
Okay, I'm proficient in ribbon cutting, so that's all I do. I wave and cut ribbons. We're going to count down from 3, but when we're done counting down from 3, you're going to clap. But why don't we practice to make sure that you still know how to clap, Marty? So I'm going to count down for 3, and then you clap. So clap and cheer. I want to hear you clap and cheer. Tom. Claude, you're going to hold on to the bottom. Watch your thumb, okay? No, you got to do this. I've seen people lose fingers, and I don't. Dr. Block's not around to shave this so bad. Bring it down here. Okay, we're going to count down from 3, okay?
okay.
3, 2, 1.
If you direct your attention across the way, the Claude Potts way, you will see our new sign. Whenever you're ready, Superintendent.
Oh.
All right. Here's the matching sign down towards Woods Road.
Down towards Woods Road.
So thank you everyone very much for being here.
Nice job.
Enjoy your afternoon.
We're going to.
Hold on. I got it.
I'm brushing
There you
go.
All right, you guys ready? Gotta make sure the flag's waving good. There you go.